HTML is the backbone of every website you see. But why does everyone use it? Let's find out. No matter what browser you like to use, Chrome or Safari or Firefox, even all of these applications do the same thing. They take different files such as HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and they render them into a website. But even though most modern websites are created using these three different file types combined together, you can't create a website with just a CSS file or just a JavaScript file. However, you can't have just an HTML file. And in fact, that's exactly what the first websites were created with HTML. Now, HTML defines the content and structure of the website. Now, what exactly is HTML? Let's break it down. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. If we look at the first part, hypertext, what does that mean? Well, it refers to the pieces of text which can link to other documents in a website. So these pieces of text are hypertexts or hyperlinks, and they are the foundation of how an HTML website works. Now, if we take a look at the world's first website created by Sir Tim Berners-Lee, who also happens to be the inventor of the internet, then you can see it's filled with these hyperlinks marked in blue. And exactly as you would expect, if you click on any of these hyperlinks, it takes you to another document, another HTML file. So now that we know what hypertext is, what about the other part, the markup language? What is a markup language? Now, if you look at the English language, we often see little bits that function very similar to markup, like these double quotes. The presence of these quotation marks is what tells a reader that this part is a quotation. How do you do markup with HTML? It is done with what we call HTML tags. Now, in the early days of the internet, there were only very few HTML tags. These days, there are loads more, but realistically, you're only going to be using some of the most important ones, such as headings, H1 through to H6, or the paragraph tag, the P tag. So here, you can see all of the HTML tags, but when we narrow it down to the ones that you actually need to know, then it makes it a lot more approachable. And in the rest of the course, we're going to be covering some of the most essential tags. Subscribe, follow, and like. I'll see you in the next lesson.